Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they don't have work ethic. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel motivated. They wait for confidence to show up first. That moment never comes. Success doesn't respond to feelings. It responds to effort. Repeated effort. Uncomfortable effort. Relentless effort. This audiobook is not here to inspire you. It's here to expose you. To show you why discipline beats motivation. Why consistency beats intensity. And why work ethic is the only advantage that never disappears. If you're ready to stop lying to yourself, this is where it starts. Chapter 1. Motivation is a lie. Motivation feels powerful, but it is unreliable. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions are unstable. They rise when things feel exciting. They disappear when things feel heavy. They vanish the moment resistance shows up. And that's why most people stay stuck. They keep waiting to feel like doing the work. They keep waiting to feel confident. They keep waiting to feel inspired. You have a choice. Wait for a feeling that may never return. Or move because the work is required. That's the key. Motivation doesn't build success. Work ethic does. Motivation shows up when life is easy. Work ethic shows up when life is hard. And real progress only happens in hard moments. Let's be clear about something uncomfortable. If motivation were enough, everyone would be successful. Everyone feels motivated at some point. After a video, after a speech, after a plan. But look around. Very few people follow through. Because motivation is temporary, and discipline is permanent. Motivation says, I'll start tomorrow. Discipline says, I start now. Motivation asks how you feel. Discipline tells you what to do. It's not about excitement. It's not about passion. It's not about confidence. It's about discipline. That's the key. Think about the times you did succeed at something. Not the times you talked about it. Not the times you planned it. The times you actually followed through. Chances are, you didn't feel amazing every day. You didn't feel inspired every morning. You didn't feel confident every step of the way. You just showed up. You did the work when it was boring. You did the work when it felt pointless. You did the work when no one was watching. That wasn't motivation. That was work ethic. You don't wait to feel ready. You move because it's required. Repeat that. You don't wait to feel ready. You move because it's required. Most people are trapped in an emotional cycle. They feel motivated. They take action. They hit resistance. They lose motivation. They stop. Then they blame themselves. They say, I just need more motivation. You need less dependence on motivation. Motivation is not the engine. It's the spark. And sparks don't last. Discipline is the engine. Discipline keeps moving when motivation dies. That's the difference between people who finish and people who quit. You have a choice. Look at disciplined people closely. Athletes, entrepreneurs, craftsmen, people who quietly win. They don't look motivated all the time. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait for confidence. They follow a system. They wake up. They execute. They repeat. Even on bad days. Especially on bad days. Because bad days are where discipline is built. That's the key. Motivation creates starters. Discipline creates finishers. Here's something most people don't realize. Confidence is not a prerequisite. Confidence is a byproduct. You don't work because you're confident. You're confident because you worked. You don't act because you believe in yourself. You believe in yourself because you acted. Waiting for confidence is backwards. Waiting for clarity is backwards. Waiting for excitement is backwards. You move first. The feelings follow later. You don't need their permission. Not society's. Not your family's. Not your own doubts. You have a choice. Let's talk about behavior. When you say, I don't feel like it, what you're really saying is, I'm letting emotion decide my actions. That's dangerous. Because emotions change hourly. Sometimes minute by minute. Discipline does not ask how you feel. It asks what the standard is. And standards remove negotiation. When something is non-negotiable, motivation becomes irrelevant. You don't negotiate brushing your teeth. You don't negotiate showing up to obligations you respect. You just do it. That's discipline. And discipline is trainable. That's the key. You don't need to become a different person overnight. You don't need superhuman willpower. You need rules. Simple rules. Rules like this. When it's time to work, I work. When it's time to train, I train. When it's uncomfortable, I lean in. No drama. No internal debate. Debate is where momentum dies. Every time you negotiate with yourself, you weaken trust. You say you'll do something. Then you don't. Over time, you stop believing your own word. That's not a motivation problem. That's a discipline problem. It's not about laziness. It's about structure. That's the key. Let's get practical. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop waiting to feel inspired. Stop asking if you're in the mood. Stop using emotions as instructions. Your feelings are feedback, not commands. Here's what you must start doing. Decide in advance. Schedule action. Execute without discussion. You don't decide if you'll do the work. You decide when. And when the time comes, you move. You don't wait to feel ready. You move because it's required. Discipline replaces weakness. Not by force. By repetition. Each time you act without motivation, you build proof. Proof that you are reliable. Proof that you are capable. Proof that you don't quit when it gets hard. That proof becomes identity. And identity is powerful. Once you see yourself as someone who shows up regardless of mood, everything changes. You stop relying on hype. You stop chasing inspiration. You stop starting over. You just work. That's the key. Understand this deeply. Motivation is not bad. It's just unreliable. Enjoy it when it's there. But don't depend on it. Depend on systems. Depend on standards. Depend on discipline. Because discipline doesn't care how you feel. It only cares that the work gets done. And when the work gets done consistently, results are inevitable. That's not opinion. That's reality. You have a choice. If you remember one thing from this chapter, let it be this. Stop waiting for motivation to save you. It won't. Build discipline instead. It will. Motivation is a feeling. Work ethic is a decision. Make the decision once. Then execute daily. Because success doesn't come to those who feel ready. Comes to those who act anyway. You don't wait to feel ready. You move because it's required. That's the standard. That's the shift. That's the beginning of real work ethic. You've removed the lie of motivation. Now it's time to confront the real enemy hiding in plain sight. Comfort. Chapter 2. Comfort is the enemy. Comfort feels safe. That's why it's dangerous. Comfort whispers that you've earned a break. That you deserve ease. That tomorrow will be a better time to push. And slowly, quietly, comfort lowers your standards. Not all at once. One small decision at a time. That's how ambition dies. Not from failure. From comfort. You have a choice. And that's the key. Comfort doesn't attack you. It protects you. At least, it pretends to. It tells you to avoid discomfort. Avoid pressure. Avoid struggle. But struggle is where growth lives. If it's comfortable, it's not changing you. Repeat that. If it's comfortable, it's not changing you. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they choose comfort over growth every single day. They choose the easier option, the softer path, the familiar routine, and then they wonder why nothing changes. That's the key. Comfort gives you the illusion of peace while stealing your potential. You feel calm. You feel relaxed. You feel safe. But you're not moving. And life only rewards movement. Comfort slows you down before it stops you. Look closely at how people justify comfort. They call it self-care. They call it balance. They call it protecting their energy. Sometimes rest is necessary. But most of the time, rest is avoidance wearing a respectable mask. It's not about rest. It's about discipline. That's the key. Ask yourself an honest question. Are you resting to recover? Or resting to escape? Most people know the answer. They just don't want to admit it. Because admitting it means responsibility. And responsibility is uncomfortable. You have a choice. Comfort trains you to avoid friction. And friction is essential. Friction builds strength. Friction builds clarity. Friction builds resilience. Without friction, muscles weaken. Skills decay. Focus dissolves. The same is true mentally. When you avoid discomfort, you lose tolerance for effort. Small tasks start to feel overwhelming. Basic discipline starts to feel exhausting. Not because the work is hard, but because you've trained yourself to live softly. It's not about stress. It's about standards. That's the key. If it's comfortable, it's not changing you. Most people confuse peace with progress. They say, I just want to feel calm. I just want less pressure. I just want things to be easy. Easy is not the goal. Growth is. Progress feels demanding. Progress requires focus. Progress creates tension. That tension isn't a problem. It's a signal. A signal that you're stretching beyond who you used to be. Comfort removes that signal. And without that signal, you drift. You don't need their permission to push yourself. Not your friends. Not your families. Not society's obsession with comfort. You have a choice. Look at people who are stuck for years. Same job. Same habits. Same complaints. They aren't lazy. They're comfortable. Comfortable enough to tolerate dissatisfaction. Comfortable enough to delay change. Comfortable enough to stay average. That's the trap. Comfort doesn't feel like failure. It feels like stability. But stability without growth is stagnation. And stagnation quietly turns into regret. That's the key. Comfort also lies about time. It says, you can start later. It's not urgent. You have plenty of time. Time is not your ally. Time rewards urgency. Time punishes delay. Every day you choose comfort, the cost compounds. Lost momentum. Lower standards. Weaker identity. It's not about intensity. It's about discipline. That's the key. Let's talk about behavior. Comfort shows up in small decisions. Sleeping in when you said you'd get up. Skipping the workout because it's inconvenient. Delaying the hard conversation. Putting off the task that requires focus. Each decision seems harmless, but they stack. And stacked comfort becomes a lifestyle. You don't wake up one day unmotivated. You train yourself to be that way. By choosing comfort repeatedly, you have a choice. Here's the psychological truth. Your brain is designed to seek comfort and avoid pain. That's survival programming. But survival is not success. If you live only by instinct, you stay small. Discipline overrides instinct. Discipline says, I do what's required, not what's comfortable. That's the key. If it's comfortable, it's not changing you. Now let's get practical. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop asking what feels easiest. Stop optimizing for convenience. Stop rewarding yourself before the work is done. Comfort should come after effort, not before. Here's what you must start doing. Choose the harder option intentionally. Lean into resistance. Schedule discomfort. Schedule it. Training. Focused work. Silence. Solitude. Learning. Make discomfort part of your routine. When discomfort becomes normal, comfort loses its control. That's discipline. You don't need to suffer endlessly. You need to stretch consistently. There's a difference. Discipline is controlled discomfort for a purpose. Comfort is avoidance without a purpose. That's the key. Stop confusing exhaustion with effort. And stop confusing comfort with wisdom. Growth feels demanding because it demands more of you. And that's exactly why it works. Comfort also weakens identity. When you repeatedly avoid hard things, you start to see yourself as someone who avoids. That identity becomes self-fulfilling. You expect less from yourself. You tolerate more excuses. You lower the bar. Discipline rebuilds identity. Every time you do the hard thing, you reinforce a new story. I'm someone who follows through. I'm someone who handles discomfort. I'm someone who doesn't quit when it gets uncomfortable. That story changes everything. That's the key. You don't need to feel ready to leave comfort. You don't need confidence. You don't need permission. You decide. And then you act. Comfort will argue. It will negotiate. It will rationalize. Ignore it. Discipline doesn't negotiate. It executes. If you're honest with yourself, you already know where comfort is costing you. The task you keep avoiding. The habit you keep delaying. The standard you keep lowering. That awareness is not there to shame you. It's there to wake you up. You have a choice. Comfort promises relief today and steals results tomorrow. Discipline demands effort today and delivers freedom later. Freedom from regret. Freedom from self-doubt. Freedom from starting over again and again. That's the trade. And it's always available. Understand this deeply. You don't need a dramatic overhaul. You need daily resistance. Small, deliberate acts of discipline. Do the thing you least want to do. Do it first. Do it consistently. That's how comfort loses its grip. That's the key. If it's comfortable, it's not changing you. Let this chapter lock in one truth. Comfort is not neutral. It's either a reward or a trap. Used intentionally, it restores you. Used constantly, it destroys you. Your future is shaped by which one you choose. You have a choice. You've exposed the enemy of comfort. Now it's time to face the truth that follows when comfort is removed. When no one is coming to save you. When excuses disappear. When responsibility becomes unavoidable. Now it's time to understand this reality. Chapter 3. Nobody is coming. Nobody is coming. Not to save you. Not to motivate you. Not to validate your pain. Not to hand you permission. That truth hurts at first. Then it frees you. Most people stay stuck because they're waiting. Waiting for support. Waiting for encouragement. Waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting for someone to notice their potential. They tell themselves, once someone believes in me, I'll move. They say, if I just had help, I could do more. They think, when the timing is right, I'll start. That's the lie. Waiting is not patience. Waiting is avoidance. And avoidance feels safe. You have a choice. You can keep waiting for the world to make it easier. Or you can accept the truth. Nobody is coming. That's the key. The most dangerous habit you can form is outsourcing responsibility for your life. When you wait for validation, you give power away. When you wait for permission, you shrink yourself. When you wait for help, you delay growth. You don't need their permission. Look closely at your own behavior. How many plans have you postponed because no one supported you? How many goals have you abandoned because no one cheered? How many times did you hesitate because you feared judgment? That hesitation is not caution. It's dependency. And dependency keeps people small. Psychologically, waiting creates learned helplessness. Your brain adapts to inaction. Every delay reinforces the belief that action requires approval. Over time, you stop trusting yourself. That's not weakness. That's conditioning. And conditioning can be broken. Successful people don't move because they feel supported. They move because movement is required. They assume no one is coming. So they become self-reliant. They stop asking, "What will people think?" They start asking, "What must be done?" That's the shift. You are the help you're waiting for. Say it again. You are the help you're waiting for. That sentence carries weight because it removes excuses. If you are the help, then action starts with you. If you are the help, then discipline is non-negotiable. If you are the help, then delay is a decision. You have a choice. Most people confuse loneliness with abandonment. They think being alone means something is wrong. It doesn't. Being alone is often the prerequisite for growth. No one was there when disciplined people built their routines. No one applauded their early mornings. No one cared about their silent sacrifices. They didn't wait for recognition. They worked in obscurity. That's the key. The world only celebrates results. It does not sponsor beginnings. Stop expecting support at the start. Support comes later. Respect comes later. Validation comes after consistency. You don't need their permission. Let's talk behavior. You must stop explaining your plans to people who don't live them. You must stop seeking reassurance before taking action. You must stop interpreting silence as rejection. Silence means nothing. Indifference is neutral. Your job is not to be understood. Your job is to execute. Start doing this instead. Make decisions without announcing them. Move without consensus. Act without applause. That's discipline. It's not about confidence. It's not about clarity. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. Most people say, "I'll start when I feel ready." Disciplined people say, "I'll start because it's required." You don't wait to feel ready. You move because it's required. That's the difference. Waiting for someone to rescue you keeps you emotionally dependent. Self-directed action builds internal authority. Internal authority is when you trust your own word. When you say you'll do something, and you do it. No one else needs to see it. You are the help you're waiting for. This is where responsibility becomes power. When no one is coming, excuses disappear. When no one is coming, focus sharpens. When no one is coming, discipline becomes the only option. That's the key. Look at your daily habits. Are you scrolling instead of building? Complaining instead of training? Explaining instead of executing? That's not a lack of opportunity. That's avoidance. And avoidance is comfortable. But comfort is the enemy. You learned that already. Now understand this. Waiting feels comfortable because it removes pressure. But pressure is where growth happens. When you stop waiting, pressure returns. Pressure forces decisions. Decisions force action. Action changes everything. You have a choice. You can continue waiting for support that may never come. Or you can become the kind of person who doesn't need it. Strong people are not supported. They are self-supported. They build structure. They build routine. They build standards. Standards don't ask for permission. Standards demand compliance from you. It's not about fear. It's about discipline. Fear doesn't disappear when help arrives. Fear disappears when you act despite it. That's the key. Practical instruction. Stop telling people what you're going to do. Start showing yourself what you can do. Set one daily non-negotiable task. Do it whether you feel like it or not. No discussion. No negotiation. That trains self-trust. Next, remove the phrase, "someone should help me," from your vocabulary. Replace it with, "what can I do now?" That shift creates momentum. Momentum doesn't come from encouragement. It comes from execution. You don't need their permission. And understand this clearly. No one owes you belief. No one owes you understanding. No one owes you support. The moment you accept that, you stop waiting. You become dangerous, in a good way. Because now you move regardless. You are the help you're waiting for. Most people never accept this truth. They live in a permanent state of anticipation. Waiting for the call. Waiting for the message. Waiting for the break. But disciplined people create their own break. They act as if no one is coming, because no one is. That's not pessimism. That's realism. And realism produces results. When you stop waiting, you reclaim time. When you reclaim time, you reclaim control. When you reclaim control, your life changes. That's the key. End this chapter with clarity. You are not behind. You are not missing something. You are not waiting for the right person. You are waiting on yourself. And today, that ends. You've stopped expecting rescue. You've accepted responsibility. You've reclaimed authority. Now it's time to build something worth respecting. Next, you'll learn why your environment is either shaping you or sabotaging you. Chapter 4. Discipline beats talent every time. Talent is loud. Discipline is quiet. Talent gets attention early. Discipline gets results late. And most people never make it to late. They mistake potential for progress. They confuse ability with achievement. They believe being gifted is enough. It isn't. Talent starts it. Discipline finishes it. That's the key. Every field is full of talented people who never followed through. Smart people who quit early. Skilled people who collapsed under pressure. Promising people who couldn't sustain effort. Talent didn't save them. Because talent has no structure. Discipline does. You have a choice. You can rely on what comes naturally to you. Or you can build what lasts. Talent feels good in the beginning. It gives quick wins. Fast praise. Easy confidence. But talent also creates entitlement. It whispers, "I shouldn't have to work this hard." It says, "This should come easier." It convinces you effort is optional. That's where people break. Pressure exposes what talent hides. When things get difficult, when results slow, when failure shows up, talent panics. Discipline adjusts. That's the difference. Psychologically, talent creates identity attachment. People start defining themselves by what they're good at. So when they struggle, they feel threatened. Discipline doesn't care about identity. Discipline cares about behavior. It's not about confidence. It's not about self-belief. It's about consistency. That's the key. Look at high performers. They don't ask, "Am I talented enough?" They ask, "Did I do the work today?" They remove emotion from execution. You don't need their permission. Talent wants to be admired. Discipline wants to be effective. Talent seeks recognition. Discipline seeks repetition. And repetition compounds. Quietly, daily, unnoticed, until it's undeniable. Talent starts it. Discipline finishes it. Say it again. Talent starts it. Discipline finishes it. Most people burn out because they rely on bursts instead of systems. They work when inspired. They stop when bored. They quit when challenged. That's not lack of talent. That's lack of discipline. And discipline is trainable. You must stop romanticizing your ability. Stop telling yourself you're naturally good and using that as an excuse. Stop waiting for talent to carry you. Talent is unreliable. Discipline shows up. That's the key. Here's the truth most people avoid. Talent without discipline becomes arrogance. Discipline without talent becomes mastery. Which one lasts longer? You have a choice. If you've ever said, "I know I could be great if I tried," that's talent talking. Discipline says, "Try anyway." If you've ever said, "I'm better than most people," discipline asks, "Then why aren't you consistent?" It's not about intelligence. It's not about creativity. It's not about potential. It's about discipline. Talent loves comfort. Discipline embraces boredom. Talent wants novelty. Discipline wants routine. Routine is where growth lives. That's the key. Let's talk behavior. Talented people often resist structure. They feel boxed in by routines. They say structure kills creativity. That's a lie. Structure creates freedom. When behavior is automatic, energy is preserved. When energy is preserved, performance improves. Discipline removes decision fatigue. You don't debate whether to show up. You show up. You don't negotiate effort. You apply it. You don't wait to feel ready. You move because it's required. Talent starts it. Discipline finishes it. Practical instruction. Choose one skill you rely on talent for. Just one. Now build a strict routine around it. Same time. Same process. Same minimum standard. Every day. No exceptions. That's how discipline replaces weakness. Next, measure effort, not outcome. Talent obsesses over results. Discipline obsesses over inputs. Did you train? Did you practice? Did you execute the plan? Results will follow. That's the key. Most people collapse under pressure because pressure demands consistency. Talent performs well when conditions are ideal. Discipline performs regardless. Pressure doesn't ask how gifted you are. Pressure asks how prepared you are. And preparation is discipline. You don't need their permission. If you've been coasting on ability, this is your warning. Talent expires without discipline. It turns into regret. I could have been. I should have done more. I wasted my potential. That's the cost. You have a choice. Build discipline now, or pay for it later. Talent is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Sparks fade. Engines run. Talent wants applause. Discipline wants progress. And progress is earned. Silently. Daily. Relentlessly. That's the key. Understand this deeply. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline cares what you do. It's not about motivation. It's about standards. Set standards you don't negotiate with. Minimum effort. Minimum focus. Minimum output. Every day. Even when bored. Especially when bored. Because boredom is where most people quit. Discipline stays. Talent starts it. Discipline finishes it. This chapter locks in one truth. You don't rise to the level of your talent. You fall to the level of your discipline. Remember that. You've stopped relying on gifts. You've started building systems. You've shifted from potential to execution. Now it's time to confront the habits that quietly destroy discipline from the inside. Chapter 5. Consistency is the real superpower. Everyone wants a breakthrough. Very few want a routine. Everyone wants fast results. Almost no one respects slow progress. That's why most people stay stuck. Because success is not built in dramatic moments. It's built in boring ones. Boring days build extraordinary lives. That's the key. Consistency is not exciting. It doesn't feel heroic. It doesn't give you instant validation. But it works. Every time. Talent fades. Motivation fluctuates. Intensity burns out. Consistency stays. You have a choice. You can chase moments. Or you can build momentum. Most people live in extremes. They work hard for a few days, then disappear for weeks. They go all in, then give up completely. That cycle destroys progress. Consistency breaks it. Psychologically, the brain resists consistency because it craves novelty. New plans feel powerful. New routines feel boring. But boredom is not the enemy. Inconsistency is. That's the key. Consistency trains identity. When you show up daily, even imperfectly, your brain starts to believe, this is who I am. Not someone who tries. Someone who does. Boring days build extraordinary lives. Say it again. Boring days build extraordinary lives. Look at fitness. People don't get in shape from one brutal workout. They get in shape from hundreds of average ones. Showing up when tired. Training when progress is invisible. Eating well on normal days. That's consistency. Look at business. Overnight success is a lie people tell after 10 years of daily effort. Emails sent. Skills built. Mistakes corrected. No drama. No applause. Just repetition. That's the key. Look at learning. You don't master a skill by cramming once a month. You master it by touching it every day. Reading 10 pages. Practicing 30 minutes. Reviewing what you already know. Small actions. Repeated. Consistency beats intensity every time. You don't need their permission. Most people fail because they underestimate the power of small actions. They think small means insignificant. It doesn't. Small means sustainable. And sustainability wins. You have a choice. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for energy. Consistency doesn't wait. It acts. Here's where people go wrong. They ask, what's the best plan? Instead of asking, what can I do every day? They aim too high. Burn out. Then quit. It's not about ambition. It's about discipline. That's the key. Lower the bar for consistency. Raise the standard for showing up. 10 minutes every day beats 2 hours once a week. One focused task beats 10 scattered ones. One honest effort beats endless planning. Boring days build extraordinary lives. Now let's talk behavior. You must stop starting over. Every restart resets momentum. Every quit reinforces inconsistency. Stop telling yourself, I'll restart Monday. That's comfort disguised as planning. Discipline continues. You must stop measuring progress emotionally. Some days feel powerful. Some days feel useless. Neither matters. Consistency ignores feelings. That's the key. Here's what you must start doing. Define a non-negotiable daily minimum. Not your ideal effort. Your minimum. The version you do even on bad days. One workout. One page. One action that moves the needle. No 0 days. Ever. That's discipline. Next, anchor consistency to time, not mood. Same time. Same trigger. Same behavior. Morning. Evening. Lunch break. Pick one. Remove choice. You have a choice once. To commit. After that, consistency decides for you. You don't need their permission. Consistency compounds quietly. Day 1 looks meaningless. Day 10 feels routine. Day 100 looks like talent. People will call you gifted. But special. They won't see the boring days. That's the advantage. Consistency hides progress until it can't be ignored. That's the key. Understand this. Consistency builds trust with yourself. Every time you keep a promise, confidence grows. Every time you break one, self-respect erodes. This isn't about productivity. It's about identity. Who do you believe yourself to be? Someone who shows up, or someone who quits when it's inconvenient? You have a choice. Inconsistency creates chaos. missed days, guilt, self-criticism. Consistency creates calm. You know what you do when you do it, without debate. That mental clarity is power. Boring days build extraordinary lives. Let's get practical. Create a daily checklist with 3 items maximum. Not 10, not 20. 3. Finish them every day, no matter what. When life gets busy, reduce intensity, not frequency. Shorter workout, less output. Still show up. Consistency over perfection. That's the key. Most people quit because they confuse boredom with failure. They say, "I'm not feeling it anymore." Of course you're not. That means it's working. Excitement fades. Habits remain. Consistency doesn't feel good. It feels normal. And normal builds results. You don't need their permission to live a disciplined life. If people question your routine, good. If they mock your repetition, ignore it. They're watching what they won't do. You have a choice. Here's the psychological truth. Your brain believes what you repeat, not what you promise. Every consistent action rewires expectation. I don't quit. I finish. I show up. That belief changes behavior everywhere. That's the key. Consistency doesn't require confidence. It creates it. Consistency doesn't need clarity. It produces it. Consistency doesn't wait for motivation. It replaces it. Boring days build extraordinary lives. Lock this in. You don't need a breakthrough. You need a streak. One day, then another, then another. Protect the streak. Because once consistency is broken, excuses rush in. Discipline holds the line. This chapter ends with one truth. Your life is not changed by what you do occasionally. It's changed by what you do consistently. You've learned to show up, to repeat, to stay. Now it's time to remove the distractions that sabotage consistency before it can compound. Now it's time to understand what steals your focus and energy every single day. Chapter 6. Your excuses sound intelligent, but they're still excuses. Some excuses sound stupid. Others sound intelligent. The dangerous ones sound intelligent. They're logical. They're reasonable. They even sound responsible. And that's why they keep you stuck. Smart people don't avoid work less. They justify avoidance better. That's the truth. You have a choice. Explanations don't create results. Action does. That's the key. An excuse doesn't need to be false to be destructive. It just needs to delay action. I don't have time. I need to learn more first. I'm waiting for the right opportunity. My situation is different. All of those might be true, and none of them build results. Life circumstances explain delays. They do not justify permanent stagnation. That's the line most people cross. They turn explanation into identity. They don't say, "This is hard right now." They say, "This is why I can't." That's the key. Psychologically, excuses protect the ego. If you don't try, you don't fail. If you don't commit, you don't get exposed. Excuses keep your self-image safe, but they keep your life small. You have a choice. You can protect your ego, or you can build results. You can't do both. Explanations don't create results. Action does. Look closely at how excuses evolve. At first, they're temporary. I'll start after this busy period. Then they become conditional. I'll start when things calm down. Then they become permanent. Now is just not the right time. That time never arrives. Because the excuse isn't about time. It's about discomfort. It's not about the problem. It's about discipline. That's the key. Smart excuses are especially dangerous because they feel responsible. You convince yourself you're being thoughtful, strategic, patient. But patience without action is just procrastination in a suit. You don't need their permission to move imperfectly. Most people wait to feel certain. Certain they won't fail. Certain they won't look foolish. Certain they won't waste effort. Certainty is a luxury of people who never build anything. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. That's the key. Let's talk behavior. Excuses show up in language. Listen to your words. I should. I could. I might. Those words avoid commitment. Discipline uses different language. I will. I do. I'm responsible. Language shapes behavior. Behavior shapes identity. You have a choice. Here's a hard truth. Your circumstances matter. Your responsibilities matter. Your challenges matter. But results don't care. The outcome doesn't adjust itself because your excuse is understandable. Life doesn't reward effort. It rewards execution. Explanations don't create results. Action does. That's not harsh. That's reality. Most people want empathy instead of outcomes. They want understanding instead of progress. Understanding doesn't change your future. Action does. That's the key. Let's get specific. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop over-explaining yourself. Stop justifying inaction. Stop convincing yourself that thinking counts as progress. Thinking feels productive. Planning feels productive. Research feels productive. But none of it moves the needle without action. You must stop hiding behind preparation. Preparation without execution is avoidance. You must stop comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Comparison fuels excuses. You say, I'm not ready like them. They weren't ready either. They acted anyway. You have a choice. Here's what you must start doing. Replace excuses with constraints. Instead of, I don't have time, ask, what can I do in the time I do have? Instead of, I'm not ready, ask, what's the next imperfect step? Instead of, I can't, ask, how can I? That question changes everything. Constraints force creativity. Excuses kill it. That's the key. Now let's talk about discipline. Discipline doesn't argue with excuses. It ignores them. Discipline understands something excuses never will. Progress doesn't require ideal conditions. It requires consistency under non-ideal ones. You don't wait for life to cooperate. You cooperate with reality. You don't need their permission to take responsibility. Here's another truth most people avoid. Excuses feel better in the short term. Results feel better in the long term. Excuses give relief today. Results give freedom tomorrow. Every time you choose an excuse, you're choosing short-term comfort over long-term growth. Comfort has been exposed already. Now you see how it hides inside intelligence. That's the key. Explanations don't create results. Action does. Say it again. Explanations don't create results. Action does. Identity is shaped by what you tolerate. If you tolerate excuses, you become someone who excuses. If you tolerate discipline, you become someone who executes. That identity shift is everything. Because once you see yourself as someone who acts despite circumstances, excuses lose power. They still show up. They just don't decide. You do. You have a choice. Here's a practical rule. No explaining before executing. If you catch yourself explaining why you haven't acted, stop. Act first. Explain later. Better yet, don't explain at all. Results speak. Excuses talk. That's the key. Another rule. Limit decision-making. The more you think, the more excuses appear. Decide in advance. Schedule action. Execute without debate. Debate is where excuses thrive. Discipline removes debate. You don't need motivation. You don't need confidence. You don't need permission. You need standards. Standards eliminate excuses. When something is non-negotiable, excuses become irrelevant. You don't excuse missing obligations you respect. So raise the level of respect you have for your own commitments. That's discipline. Here's the psychological shift. Stop asking, is this justified? Start asking, does this move me forward? Justification is ego-based. Progress is result-based. Explanations don't create results. Action does. That's the key. You might be thinking, but my situation really is different. Maybe it is. And still, the principle holds. You either adapt or you stay stuck. Adaptation requires effort. Effort requires discipline. No one is coming to remove your obstacles. You already learned that. Now you learn this. No excuse will move your life forward for you. Only action will. You have a choice. Let this chapter lock in one standard. You are allowed to have reasons. You are not allowed to let them run your life. You can acknowledge difficulty without surrendering to it. You can accept reality without using it as a crutch. That's maturity. That's discipline. Explanations don't create results. Action does. From this point forward, every excuse is a signal. A signal to act smaller. Act sooner. Act anyway. That's the shift. You've stripped away intelligent excuses. Now it's time to talk about the environment that feeds them every day. The noise. The interruptions. The constant pulling of your attention. You've learned to take responsibility. Now it's time to protect it. Now it's time to understand what distraction is costing you. Chapter 7. Work when no one is watching. Most people only work hard when someone is watching. A boss. An audience. A deadline. A camera. And that's why most people never break free. Because real success is built in private. In silence. In obscurity. Private discipline creates public freedom. That's the key. What you do when no one is watching reveals who you really are. Not your words. Not your plans. Not your intentions. Your private behavior is your true standard. You have a choice. You can perform for approval. Or you can build for results. They lead to very different lives. Most people are addicted to visibility, likes, recognition, praise. They move when there's feedback. They slow down when there isn't. But progress doesn't care about applause. Progress only responds to consistency. Private discipline creates public freedom. Let that sink in. Think about how many people work harder to look productive than to be productive. They post about effort. They talk about grind. They announce goals. But behind the scenes, the work is shallow. That's not discipline. That's performance. It's not about image. It's about discipline. That's the key. The strongest people you'll ever meet don't announce their effort. They don't explain themselves. They don't need witnesses. They have internal standards. They show up because that's who they are. Not because someone is watching. You don't need their permission to work quietly. Here's the psychological truth. External accountability is weak. Internal accountability is unstoppable. If your discipline depends on praise, it collapses in silence. If your discipline is internal, silence becomes fuel. You have a choice. Ask yourself honestly, do you work the same when no one is checking? Do you keep promises when no one knows about them? Do you execute when there's no immediate reward? Those answers matter, because life doesn't reward visible effort. It rewards accumulated effort, and accumulation happens quietly. Private discipline creates public freedom. That's the key. Let's talk behavior. People slack off when no one is watching because consequences feel distant. No immediate penalty. No instant feedback. So they cut corners. They delay. They relax standards. But discipline isn't about consequences. It's about identity. When you skip the work in private, you're training yourself to be unreliable. When you show up in private, you're building trust with yourself. That trust compounds. You stop needing motivation. You stop needing reminders. You just execute. It's not about visibility. It's about discipline. That's the key. Think about mastery. No one masters anything in public. Athletes train in empty gyms. Writers write alone. Builders lay foundations no one sees. The performance is public. The preparation is private. Most people want the performance without the preparation. That's backwards. You earn visibility through invisibility. Private discipline creates public freedom. You have a choice. Now let's get uncomfortable. If no one ever praised your work again, would you still do it? If no one noticed your effort, would you still show up? If progress was slow and silent, would you still commit? Those questions expose motivation. Discipline doesn't need applause. Discipline moves because it's required. You don't wait to be seen. You move because it's required. That's the key. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop saving your best effort for when people are watching. Stop lowering standards when accountability disappears. Stop tying your work ethic to external pressure. Pressure is unreliable. Praise is addictive. Silence is permanent. You must be able to work in silence. You must start treating unseen hours as the main event, not the warm-up. That's discipline. Here's what you must start doing. Create private rules. Rules you follow regardless of mood. Regardless of recognition. Regardless of outcome. Rules like, when I say I'll do it, I do it. When it's scheduled, it gets done. When it's boring, I stay. No negotiation. No audience required. Private discipline creates public freedom. That's the key. Let's talk about integrity. Integrity isn't about morality. It's about alignment. Doing the same thing in private that you claim to do in public. Most people have a public self and a private self. That gap creates tension, self-doubt, insecurity. When your private actions match your public intentions, confidence stabilizes. You stop needing validation because you know who you are. You have a choice. Another truth. The work you avoid in private always shows up later as stress in public. Untrained skills create pressure. Unkept promises create anxiety. Unbuilt habits create chaos. Private neglect becomes public consequences. Private discipline creates public freedom. That's not a slogan. That's a law. Let's get practical. Identify your invisible work. The tasks that matter but don't get praise. The habits no one tracks. The effort no one applauds. That's where you focus. Because that's where the gap is. If you only work hard when visible, your growth plateaus fast. Visibility lies. Consistency doesn't. You don't need their permission to work in silence. Now understand this. Working in private is harder because there's no emotional payoff. No instant reward. No validation hit. That's why it builds strength. Delayed gratification is discipline in action. Every time you do the work without praise, you strengthen self-respect. Self-respect is fuel. That's the key. Most people wait to feel inspired. Private discipline doesn't. It works on boring days, quiet days, doubt-filled days. Those days decide everything. Not the exciting ones. You have a choice. Do you want to look disciplined or be disciplined? Looking disciplined requires performance. Being disciplined requires consistency. One impresses others. The other changes your life. Private discipline creates public freedom. Say it again. Private discipline creates public freedom. Now let's talk about pace. People rush in public and quit in private. They sprint when seen. They stall when alone. Discipline reverses that. Slow, steady, relentless. Quiet consistency beats loud bursts every time. It's not about intensity. It's about discipline. That's the key. If you want proof, look at long-term winners. They don't peak fast. They don't burn out early. They compound. They do small things well for a long time, mostly unseen. That's why their results look sudden to outsiders. They weren't sudden. They were silent. You have a choice. Here's a simple standard. If no one could ever see your effort, would you still respect it? If the answer is no, your discipline is external. External discipline collapses. Internal discipline endures. You build internal discipline by honoring commitments in private. No exceptions. That's discipline. That's the key. Let's lock this in. Working when no one is watching is not a personality trait. It's a practiced behavior. You train it. You reinforce it. You protect it. You eliminate environments that reward distraction. You create systems that reward consistency. You don't need hype. You need habits. Private discipline creates public freedom. Understand this deeply. Freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from doing what you must, especially when no one is watching. That's how standards are built. That's how identity forms. That's how results become inevitable. You have a choice. Before we move on, let this truth settle. If you want a different life, you need different private behavior. Not more announcements. Not better excuses. Not louder intentions. Better discipline. In silence. You've learned to act without excuses. You've learned to work without comfort. You've learned to execute without applause. Now it's time to talk about the one resource you keep leaking every day. The one thing discipline must protect. You've built the work ethic. Now you must learn to defend it. Now it's time to understand the cost of wasted hours. Chapter 8. Stop negotiating with yourself. Most people don't fail because life is hard. They fail because they argue with themselves all day. Every decision becomes a debate. Every action becomes a negotiation. Every commitment becomes optional. That internal noise drains energy before the work even begins. That's the problem. You have a choice. You don't ask. You execute. That's the key. Negotiation feels intelligent. It feels thoughtful. It feels flexible. But flexibility without discipline turns into weakness. Every time you ask yourself, do I really need to do this right now? You weaken authority over your own actions. You turn discipline into a discussion. And discussions don't build results. High performers don't negotiate with themselves. They decide once. Then they execute automatically. That's the difference. You don't need their permission. Not your emotions. Not your mood. Not your excuses. Let's be clear. The most exhausting thing in your life is not the work. It's the constant decision-making. Should I wake up now or later? Should I train today or tomorrow? Should I focus or check my phone? Each question steals energy. By the time you decide, you're already tired. That's the trap. You have a choice. Negotiation creates friction before action. Discipline removes friction by eliminating choice. It's not about motivation. It's not about willpower. It's about standards. That's the key. Look at your daily habits. How many things are up for debate? How many commitments are optional? How often do you give yourself an escape route? Every escape route weakens identity. Because identity is built through consistency. If you sometimes do the work and sometimes don't, your brain learns one thing. Your word is negotiable. That's dangerous. It's not about laziness. It's about discipline. Say it clearly. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. That's the key. Psychologically, Negotiation feels comforting. It gives you the illusion of control. It makes you feel reasonable. It protects you from discomfort. But comfort has already been exposed. Now you see how it hides inside internal debate. You don't need to feel ready. You need to remove the option to quit. High performers structure their lives to avoid decisions. They don't wake up and ask if they'll train. They train because it's scheduled. They don't ask if they'll work. They work because it's non-negotiable. They don't ask. They execute. You don't ask. You execute. That's the standard. Here's the truth most people miss. Every decision you delay becomes heavier. Every task you negotiate becomes harder. Every habit you debate becomes inconsistent. Decision fatigue is real. And most people are exhausted before noon because they've negotiated with themselves since waking up. That's not productivity. That's self-sabotage. You have a choice. Let's talk behavior. Negotiation shows up in subtle ways. I'll just check one thing. I'll start after this. I'll do it later when I feel better. Those are negotiations. And each one trains delay. Delay compounds. And soon, action feels unnatural. Discipline works the opposite way. Action becomes automatic. Execution becomes identity. Results become inevitable. That's the key. Now let's get practical. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop asking yourself questions you already know the answer to. Stop deciding the same things every day. Stop letting emotions vote on commitments. Emotions are temporary. Standards are permanent. You don't negotiate standards. Here's what you must start doing. Decide once. Decide your wake-up time. Decide your work blocks. Decide your training schedule. Decide your non-negotiables. Then remove choice. When the time comes, you move. No discussion. No debate. No drama. You don't ask. You execute. That's discipline. That's the key. Think about the strongest people you know. They're not constantly hyped. They're not endlessly motivated. They're calm, consistent, predictable. Predictability is power, because predictability removes friction. When your actions are predictable, your results are reliable. When your behavior depends on mood, your results disappear. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. That's the key. Let's talk identity. Every time you negotiate and back out, you reinforce an identity of inconsistency. Every time you execute without debate, you reinforce authority. Authority over self is confidence. Not loud confidence. Quiet confidence. The kind that doesn't need validation. You don't need their permission to act decisively. Here's another psychological truth. Your brain learns faster from action than from intention. You can tell yourself you're disciplined all day, but your brain only believes behavior. Negotiation delays behavior. Execution reinforces belief. That's why action changes mindset, not the other way around. You don't think your way into discipline. You act your way into it. You have a choice. Now understand this. Negotiation doesn't disappear overnight. It weakens through repetition. Each time you execute without asking, you shorten the debate next time. Eventually, there is no debate. Just action. That's mastery. High performers don't feel less resistance. They respond to it faster. They don't argue with resistance. They move through it. You don't ask. You execute. That's the key. Let's address fear. Sometimes negotiation hides fear. Fear of failure. Fear of discomfort. Fear of wasting effort. Discipline doesn't remove fear. It ignores it. Fear gets a voice, not a vote. That's discipline. You have a choice. Another practical rule. No mental rehearsal before action. The more you rehearse, the more excuses appear. Start first. Think later. Movement creates momentum. Momentum silences negotiation. That's the key. Notice how children move. They don't overthink movement. They act instinctively. As adults, we over-intellectualize everything. Intelligence without discipline creates paralysis. Smart people negotiate the most because they can justify anything. That's why intelligence must be paired with discipline. Otherwise, it becomes a liability. It's not about intelligence. It's about discipline. That's the key. Here's a powerful shift. Treat commitments like appointments. You don't negotiate appointments you respect. You show up. So start respecting commitments to yourself. Same energy. Same seriousness. No renegotiation. You don't need permission. Here's a question that changes behavior. What would someone disciplined do right now? Then do that. Not later. That question bypasses negotiation. That's the key. You might resist this because it feels rigid. Structure creates freedom. When your life is structured, your mind relaxes. When everything is optional, your mind is exhausted. Freedom doesn't come from endless choice. It comes from disciplined routines. Private discipline creates public freedom. You've learned that already. Now you apply it internally. Stop negotiating. Start executing. You have a choice. Let this chapter lock in one rule. If it's scheduled, it's settled. No debate. No discussion. No mucho. You don't ask. You execute. That rule alone will change your life. Because once you remove negotiation, energy returns. Focus sharpens. Confidence stabilizes. Results accelerate. That's not motivation. That's discipline. You've learned to stop negotiating with yourself. Now it's time to take control of the one thing negotiation steals the most. Your attention. Because discipline without focus still leaks power. You've removed internal resistance. Now it's time to eliminate external noise. Now it's time to master silence. Chapter 9. Pain is part of the price. Most people run from pain. They avoid discomfort like it's the enemy. They chase ease. They chase comfort. They chase short-term relief. And that's exactly why most people stay average. Discomfort is not a signal to stop. It's proof you're growing. It's proof that you're moving beyond your old limits. It's proof that you're stretching. That's the key. You have a choice. You can shrink from discomfort, or you can lean into it. You can choose pain now or pay interest later. Let's be clear about something uncomfortable. Life does not reward avoidance. It does not reward excuses. It does not reward comfort. It rewards results. And results always come at a price. Sometimes the price is time. Sometimes the price is effort. Sometimes the price is pain. Avoiding that price does not make you smarter. It makes you weaker. It compounds regret. It compounds lost opportunity. Every person who ever achieved something extraordinary paid the price. They didn't wait for it to feel good. They didn't wait for motivation. They didn't negotiate with themselves. They simply did what was required. Pain came. They absorbed it. They moved through it. And then they won. That's the key. Pain is inevitable. Discomfort is inevitable. Pressure is inevitable. The question is not whether it will come. The question is how you respond when it arrives. Do you flinch? Do you justify? Do you quit? Or do you see it for what it is? A tool. A signal. A price you are willing to pay. Choose pain now or pay interest later. Repeat that. Choose pain now or pay interest later. Most people don't understand interest. They think the small compromises don't matter. They think missing one day, skipping one task, avoiding one hard conversation is harmless. It's not. Those tiny decisions accumulate. They compound like a debt you never pay. And one day it hits. the missed workouts, the ignored habits, the avoided challenges, the opportunities never taken. All of it. Interest has piled up, and now the cost is massive. Regret is heavy. Loss is unavoidable. You can pay it forward or pay it later. You can choose pain now or pay interest later. That's the choice. Let's examine the psychology behind pain avoidance. Your brain is wired to protect you. It fears injury, loss, discomfort. That fear is normal. It is natural. It is human. But survival wiring is not success wiring. If you live only in survival mode, you stay small. You protect yourself from discomfort. You avoid risk. You seek approval. You stay safe. You stay average. The people you admire do not live in survival mode. They take the hits. They endure the grind. They accept the weight. They understand that pain is temporary but regret is permanent. That's the key. Pain is proof of growth. Discomfort is a sign that you're stretching. The more uncomfortable it feels, the more potential you are unlocking. If it hurts, you're doing it right. If it's easy, you're not progressing. Stop lying to yourself. Stop justifying comfort. Stop pretending that avoiding pain is smart. It is not. You have a choice. Every day, in every task, in every decision. Choose pain now or pay interest later. Let's make this practical. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop avoiding what's difficult. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for it to feel easy. Stop rationalizing why you shouldn't do the work. Every excuse is a debt. Every skipped effort compounds interest. Every avoidance weakens identity. Here's what you must start doing. Lean into the uncomfortable. Schedule challenges. Do the work even when it stings. Do the tasks even when they're tedious. Confront conversations even when they're hard. Face situations that test your patience, your will, your discipline. Pain is temporary. Progress is permanent. Endurance pays dividends. You don't need permission. You don't need motivation. You don't need perfect conditions. You need courage. You need choice. You need action. Choose pain now or pay interest later. Think about your long-term life. Look at your current habits. Look at where you compromise. Look at where you avoid effort. Look at where you flinch from discomfort. All of that is adding interest. Every day you avoid pain, debt compounds. Every day you take the easy road, the cost grows. And eventually, interest becomes impossible to pay. Now think about the opposite. What if you faced discomfort head-on? What if you embraced the grind? What if you executed tasks even when they were unpleasant? What if you did the hard things daily? The interest disappears. The debt is paid forward. Results compound. Confidence strengthens. Identity solidifies. Freedom grows. Pain is temporary. Discipline is permanent. That's the key. Here's the reality most people avoid. Success always costs something. There is no shortcut. There is no secret. There is no bypass around effort. Discomfort is the price of progress. Some people pay that price willingly. They show up every day, rain or shine, motivated or not, inspired or not. They understand that doing it anyway is what separates winners from quitters. Most people will never pay. They will make excuses. They will rationalize. They will justify. They will avoid. And that's why they fall short. Pain is temporary. Regret is permanent. Discomfort now builds freedom later. Ease now builds chains later. You have a choice. Let's talk about identity. Every time you embrace pain, you prove something to yourself. I am reliable. I am capable. I don't quit when it's hard. I am someone who pays the price to win. Every time you avoid pain, you reinforce weakness. I am unreliable. I am undisciplined. I quit when it's hard. Your identity is built one choice at a time. Discomfort shapes character. Pain builds resilience. Discipline creates identity. Choose pain now or pay interest later. Repeat it until it sinks in. Choose pain now or pay interest later. Here's the brutal truth. Life doesn't owe you comfort. Life doesn't owe you convenience. Life doesn't owe you ease. It owes you nothing. And the universe rewards action. Not excuses. Not avoidance. Not negotiation. Action is the only currency that matters. Action in the face of discomfort. Action in the face of doubt. Action in the face of resistance. Pain is inevitable. Growth is optional. You have a choice. Look at those you admire. Every athlete, entrepreneur, artist, leader, they all pay the price. They endure the grind. They embrace discomfort. They choose pain now, every single day. And that's why they rise above. No one else will absorb the discomfort for you. No one else will pay the price for you. You are the one who must step in. You are the one who must endure. You are the one who must act. Choose pain now or pay interest later. That's the mindset of winners. That's the mindset of discipline. That's the mindset that turns struggle into freedom. Every time you face discomfort, remember, you are building proof. You are building identity. You are building the life you will never regret. Pain is part of the price. Avoidance is interest you'll never pay off. Discomfort is your friend if you let it be. Ease is a trap if you let it dominate. You have a choice. Embrace the pain now. Do the work now. Stretch beyond the limits now. Or live with regret later. Choose pain now or pay interest later. Repeat it. Live it. Breathe it. Because no one else will. You've accepted that pain is part of the price. Now it's time to understand the final truth that multiplies everything you've learned. When your life depends on no one, when discipline is non-negotiable, when every decision counts, when every action is deliberate. Now it's time to master your life completely. Chapter 10. Build identity, not outcomes. Most people chase outcomes. They chase money. They chase titles. They chase numbers. They chase applause. And that's why most people are unstable. Their confidence rises and falls with results. Their mood depends on feedback. Their discipline disappears when progress slows. One good day, they feel powerful. One bad day, they feel defeated. That's not strength. That's emotional dependency. You have a choice. You can build your life around outcomes you can't control. Or you can build your life around identity you never lose. That's the key. Outcomes are temporary. Identity is permanent. Outcomes fluctuate. Identity compounds. Outcomes depend on external forces. Identity depends on discipline. Most people get this backwards. They say, once I get results, I'll be confident. Once I succeed, I'll be disciplined. Once I win, I'll believe in myself. That mindset keeps them stuck. Because results follow identity. Identity does not follow results. Let me say that again. Results follow identity. Identity does not follow results. You don't become disciplined because you win. You win because you are disciplined. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. It's not about confidence. It's about discipline. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. That's the key. When you chase outcomes, you live reactively. When you build identity, you live deliberately. Reactive people wait. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel motivated. They wait for conditions to improve. Disciplined people decide. They decide who they are. Then they act in alignment with that identity. Every day. No debate. This is where most people fail. They try to act disciplined without changing identity. They try to work hard while still seeing themselves as inconsistent. They try to stay focused while still believing they are distracted. Identity always wins. You will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. If you believe you are trying, you will quit when it's hard. If you believe you are becoming, you will hesitate. If you believe you might, you will negotiate. But if you believe you are, you execute. Say it. I don't try. I am. That sentence changes everything. I try to work out means optional. I am someone who trains means non-negotiable. I try to focus means temporary. I am disciplined means permanent. I try to be consistent means conditional. I am consistent means inevitable. You don't need their permission to decide who you are. That's the key. Let's talk psychology. The brain craves consistency between identity and behavior. When your actions don't match your identity, the brain feels tension. That tension pushes you to change behavior or change identity. Most people change behavior temporarily, then revert. High performers change identity permanently, then behavior follows automatically. That's why willpower feels exhausting for most people. They're forcing actions that contradict their identity. Discipline feels heavy when it's borrowed. Discipline feels light when it's owned. Owned discipline is identity-based. You don't wake up debating whether to brush your teeth, but because you identify as someone who does. That's the level discipline must reach in your life. Automatic, non-negotiable, emotion-free. That's the goal. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop measuring your worth by outcomes. Stop checking results for validation. Stop letting wins inflate you and losses destroy you. Stop saying, I'll be disciplined when. That mindset weakens you. Here's what you must start doing. Define your identity in clear language. Not vague goals. Clear standards. I am someone who trains daily. I am someone who finishes what I start. I am someone who keeps promises to myself. I am someone who does the work even when it's boring. Then enforce it. No negotiation. No emotion. No excuses. You have a choice. Every action either reinforces your identity or erodes it. There is no neutral behavior. Skipping once tells your brain a story. Following through tells a stronger one. Identity is built through evidence. Small evidence. Daily evidence. Boring evidence. Boring days build extraordinary lives. The world celebrates outcomes. But identity is built in silence. Early mornings. Late nights. Unseen reps. Unapplauded effort. No cameras. No praise. No recognition. That's where identity is forged. That's why disciplined people don't panic when results lag. They trust the process because the process is who they are. They don't need reassurance. They don't need motivation. They don't need validation. They have identity. And identity creates stability. Let me be clear. This is not positive thinking. This is not affirmation nonsense. This is behavioral alignment. You prove identity through action, not words. You don't say, I am disciplined once. You live it daily. You don't announce it. You demonstrate it. That's the key. Here's a practical shift. Stop asking, did I succeed today? Start asking, did I act in alignment with my identity today? Success becomes irrelevant. Alignment becomes everything. Win or lose, you stay grounded. Progress or setback, you stay consistent. Because identity doesn't change with circumstances. That's power. That's emotional control. That's how discipline replaces weakness. Weakness seeks outcomes. Discipline enforces identity. Weakness waits for motivation. Discipline acts on principle. Weakness negotiates. Discipline executes. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. It's not about luck. It's about discipline. It's not about timing. It's about discipline. You don't need their permission to become disciplined. You don't need approval to define yourself. You don't need results to justify your standards. You decide. That's the key. Now listen carefully. If you build identity first, outcomes become predictable. If you chase outcomes first, identity stays fragile. That's why some people collapse after success. Their identity was never built. Only the outcome was. Remove the outcome and they disappear. But when identity is strong, outcomes are replaceable. You lose one path, you create another. You fail once, you adjust. You fall, you stand back up. Because you know who you are. Say it again. I don't try. I am. This chapter is not about doing more. It's about being differently, being disciplined, being consistent, being reliable, being relentless. Once identity is set, effort decreases. Execution becomes automatic. That's freedom. You've stopped chasing results. You've started building standards. You've shifted from external validation to internal alignment. Now comes the final step. Once identity is clear, decisions disappear. Once standards are set, negotiation ends. Once discipline is owned, life simplifies. You've built the identity. Now it's time to lock it in with permanent decisions. You've stopped trying. You've become. Now it's time to remove choice entirely. Chapter 11. Your standards decide your future. Your life does not rise to the level of your goals. It falls to the level of your standards. Read that again. Goals are wishes. Standards are rules. Goals sound good. Standards get enforced. That's the difference. Most people set goals. Very few people set standards. And that's why most people stay stuck. They want better results without better rules. They want a better life without higher expectations. They want change without confrontation. You have a choice. You can keep hoping your future improves. Or you can raise the standards that decide it. That's the key. Standards are what you accept, what you tolerate, what you allow to repeat. Every area of your life is a reflection of standards you've enforced or ignored. Your health reflects your standards around food, movement, rest. Your income reflects your standards around effort, skill, consistency. Your relationships reflect your standards around respect and boundaries. Your self-respect reflects the standards you keep with yourself. Nothing is accidental. Life is always responding to what you tolerate, and what you tolerate trains people how to treat you, including you. That's the hard truth. If you tolerate excuses, you become excusable. If you tolerate inconsistency, you become unreliable. If you tolerate mediocrity, you become average. It's not about circumstances. It's about discipline. That's the key. Most people don't consciously choose low standards. They drift into them. They lower expectations just for now. They let one thing slide, then another, then another. Soon, the exception becomes the rule. And once a rule exists, behavior follows. That's psychology. The brain adapts to whatever environment you allow. If you allow softness, it becomes your baseline. If you allow pressure, strength becomes your baseline. Standards are not about intensity. They're about consistency. A standard is not what you do when motivated. It's what you do when you don't feel like it. That's how you know it's real. Let's get specific. Low standards sound reasonable. I'll start tomorrow. It's been a long day. I deserve a break. This one time doesn't matter. High standards sound uncomfortable. I do it anyway. I follow through. I keep promises to myself. I don't negotiate with my rules. One creates comfort. The other creates progress. You have a choice. Here's where most people misunderstand standards. They think standards are about being harsh, about being extreme, about suffering. They're wrong. Standards are about clarity. When standards are clear, decisions disappear. When standards are vague, life becomes exhausting. You stop debating. You stop negotiating. You stop draining energy on choices you already know the answer to. That's discipline. It's not about willpower. It's about rules. Rules protect energy. Rules protect focus. Rules protect identity. That's the key. Look at how many people are tired, not from work, but from indecision. They decide the same things every day. Whether to train, whether to focus, whether to show up, whether to quit. That mental noise is the cost of low standards. High standards simplify life. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I don't tolerate. No emotion. No debate. You don't need their permission to raise your standards. Not your friends. Not your families. Not societies. Most people will resist your standards because higher standards expose lower ones. When you stop tolerating laziness, lazy people feel judged. When you stop accepting disrespect, disrespectful people feel threatened. When you stop lowering the bar, average people feel uncomfortable. That's not your problem. That's the price of growth. Standards create separation before they create success. That's the key. Now let's turn this inward. The most important standards are the ones you enforce with yourself. What do you tolerate from you? Missed workouts, broken promises, delayed action, lowered effort, excuses that sound intelligent. Every time you let yourself slide, you send a message. This behavior is acceptable. The brain listens. Identity follows. That's how self-trust erodes. Not from one big failure. From repeated small betrayals. Discipline rebuilds trust through standards. Clear standards. Daily enforcement. No exceptions disguised as self-care. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. That's the key. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop waiting for motivation to enforce standards. Stop adjusting rules based on mood. Stop lowering expectations when things get uncomfortable. Stop confusing compassion with permission. Here's what you must start doing. Define non-negotiables. Write them down. Enforce them daily. Not everything needs to be extreme, but some things must be absolute. Sleep time, training schedule, work blocks, personal rules. When standards are non-negotiable, results become predictable. That's how discipline replaces weakness. Weakness negotiates. Discipline enforces. Weakness explains. Discipline executes. Weakness reacts. Discipline decides. It's not about intensity. It's about discipline. That's the key. Let's talk about tolerance. What you tolerate continues. What you tolerate grows. Tolerate clutter, and chaos increases. Tolerate disrespect, and it escalates. Tolerate low effort, and it becomes identity. Raising standards means confronting reality. It means saying no. It means disappointing people. It means being misunderstood. But it also means self-respect. And self-respect changes how you move through the world. People feel it. Opportunities respond to it. Life rises to it. Standards create destiny. Say it. Standards create destiny. Not goals. Not intentions. Not potential. Standards. Your future is not built by what you want. It's built by what you enforce. You have a choice. You can keep living with flexible rules and fixed results. Or fixed rules and flexible results. High standards don't guarantee success. But low standards guarantee regret. That's the trade. And it's available every day. Here's a practical reset. Choose 3 standards to raise immediately. Not 10. Not everything. 3. 1 for your body. 1 for your work. 1 for your integrity. Make them specific. Make them enforceable. Make them non-negotiable. The next. Not tomorrow. Today. Standards only work when enforced in real time. Every time you follow through, identity strengthens. Every time you don't, identity weakens. That's the loop. That's the key. You don't need motivation to raise standards. You need honesty. Look at your life. Where are you tolerating less than you want? Where are you explaining instead of executing? Where are you lowering the bar instead of rising to it? That awareness is power. Use it. This chapter locks in one truth. Your future is not waiting to be discovered, it's being decided by your standards today. Raise them, and life rises with you. Ignore them, and life drifts without you. You've built discipline. You've built identity. Now it's time to make it permanent. No more daily decisions. No more internal debate. No more negotiating with yourself. You decide once. Then you live aligned. You've raised the standard. Now it's time to eliminate choice entirely. Chapter 12. Earn the right to be proud. Pride is not something you claim. It's something you earn. And most people try to reverse the order. They want confidence before effort, belief before discipline, self-respect before self-control. That's not how it works. Confidence is not the starting point. It's the result. That's the key. Real pride does not come from words you repeat to yourself. It comes from evidence you've built, completed work, kept promises, days you didn't quit. That's where belief is born. You have a choice. You can keep chasing confidence through motivation, affirmation, and hype. Or you can build it the only way it lasts. Through effort. Do the work. Then believe it. That's the order. Most people feel insecure because they haven't given themselves a reason to feel strong. They skip the work. They avoid the discomfort. They lower the standard. Then they wonder why self-doubt follows them everywhere. Self-doubt isn't the problem. It's the signal. A signal that promises are being broken. Every time you tell yourself you'll do something and don't, trust erodes. Every time you delay, identity weakens. Every time you choose comfort, belief slips. It's not about confidence. It's about discipline. That's the key. Pride without effort is fragile. It collapses under pressure. Real pride is quiet, grounded, unshakable, because it's built on proof. You know what you've done. You know what you've survived. You know what you can handle. No applause required. That's power. Let's get clear. There are 2 kinds of confidence. Borrowed confidence and earned confidence. Borrowed confidence comes from compliments, validation, and external approval. It feels good, but it's unstable. The moment feedback disappears, belief collapses. Earned confidence comes from action, from discipline, from showing up when no one is watching. It doesn't fluctuate with opinions. That's the confidence that lasts. That's the confidence you respect. You don't need their permission to build it. Not from friends. Not from family. Not from society. You earn it privately. That's the key. Most people want to feel proud without changing their behavior. They want to believe they're capable while still avoiding effort. They want self-respect without self-discipline. That's not pride. That's fantasy. Real pride requires friction. Effort you didn't feel like giving. Tasks you didn't want to do. Standards you enforced when excuses were available. That's where identity forms. You don't become confident by telling yourself you are. You become confident by doing what confident people do, especially when it's hard. Do the work, then believe it. Say it again. Do the work, then believe it. That's the sequence. Here's the psychological truth. Your brain tracks integrity. It remembers whether you follow through. When behavior aligns with intention, self-respect grows. When behavior contradicts intention, self-respect shrinks. No amount of motivation fixes that. Only discipline does. That's why pride cannot be faked. You always know. You know when effort was real. You know when it was avoided. You know when excuses won. And that internal awareness shapes how you carry yourself. Posture, tone, presence. People feel it. That's the key. Let's talk about promises. The most important promises are not made to others. They're made to yourself. I'll train today. I'll focus for an hour. I'll stop avoiding this task. I'll show up. Every kept promise deposits trust. Every broken promise withdraws it. Over time, the balance shows. Low balance equals self-doubt. High balance equals confidence. It's that simple. You have a choice. You can keep making promises you don't keep. Or you can lower the talk and raise the follow-through. Stop promising perfection. Start promising execution. That's discipline. That's the key. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop seeking confidence before action. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop comparing yourself to people whose effort you don't see. Stop pretending belief comes first. Here's what you must start doing. Act while uncertain. Finish what you start. Complete the work even when it's boring. Keep small promises daily. Small wins compound into self-respect. Not dramatic wins. Consistent ones. That's how discipline replaces weakness. Weakness avoids the work and seeks reassurance. Discipline does the work and builds belief. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. That's the key. Let's talk about pride again. Healthy pride does not shout. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't seek validation. It's calm. It says, I can handle this. Because you've handled things before. It says, I'll figure it out. Because you've figured things out before. That certainty isn't loud. It's solid. And it only comes one way. Effort first. Belief second. Do the work. Then believe it. If you want to respect yourself more, stop asking how to feel better. Start asking how to act better. Action changes emotion. Not the other way around. That's psychology. Feelings follow behavior. Confidence follows competence. Pride follows proof. That's the key. Here's a practical reset. Choose one daily action that proves discipline. Not 10. But something small but non-negotiable. A workout. A work block. A habit. Complete it every day. No negotiation. No drama. When the voice says skip it, act anyway. That's where pride is built. One rep at a time. One promise at a time. One finished task at a time. This is not glamorous. It's effective. You don't need to feel proud right away. Pride will come when the evidence stacks. Trust the process. Do the work. Then believe it. That's the key. Understand this deeply. You cannot think your way into confidence. You must behave your way into it. Your mind believes what your actions prove. If your actions show discipline, your mind follows. If your actions show avoidance, your mind doubts. You always know which one you're reinforcing. You have a choice. This chapter locks in the final truth. Self-respect is not given. It is earned. Pride is not claimed. It is built. Confidence is not a personality trait. It is a byproduct of discipline. You don't need more motivation. You need more follow-through. You've learned how to remove comfort, how to stop negotiating, how to raise standards, how to decide once. Now you finish the cycle. You act. You complete. You keep promises. And belief follows naturally. No hype. No pretending. Just evidence. Do the work. Then believe it. That's the key. You've earned it. Work ethic is not glamorous. It doesn't post well. It doesn't feel good at first. But it works. It works when motivation disappears. It works when confidence collapses. It works when no one believes in you yet. This is the brutal truth. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your habits. So decide today. Decide to work when it's hard. Decide to show up when it's boring. Decide to move even when no one is watching. Because success isn't something you chase. It's something you earn. Now close this audiobook and go do the work.